Hey everyone, how are you doing this fine Saturday? I am so lucky to have just wonderful experts that are a part of this One Rental at a Time channel. And if you saw earlier in this week, we had 4 or 5 experts already run through my choices spreadsheet. And Dion has been gracious enough to be number 6. So how you doing, buddy?
Howdy. Welcome back to One Rental at a Time.
I love that. Howdy, every time. I'm trying to get the hand wave down. Howdy. I like that. It's fun.
I do it so I could show off the supernatural tattoo.
Gotcha. I knew there was something. Well, hey man, thank you for doing this. So I recently was inspired by a video I saw on CNBC about a couple that retired at 38. And they not only retired at 38, but they've been doing it for 30 years. So it's not like they just did it and they got out and they might go back. They've done it for 30 years through the Great Recession, through all these things. And I was like, they did it because they talked, they planned, and they realized they had choices. So that sparked, I mean, I was noodling on this for, days. So I've ended up creating a spreadsheet I now call choices. We're going to go through it together. It has 10 tabs. We will go through one tab in detail, and then the other 9 will just be quick. The idea is we're going to understand where Dion is today, right? What you're spending today on one of these things like housing. Then we're going to say, hey, if Dion had to sacrifice, cut expenses, what would you accept, right? Dion's, for example, in housing, is not going to live in his car, but maybe he goes to a 1-bedroom, or maybe he does something else. And then we're going to say, all right, Dion, let's dream big. What would be the Mac Daddy? Like you've made it. So we're going to know where you are. If you had to reduce, where you would go. And then what is a dream? What is a vision for, in this case, housing? Does that make sense?
It does. Yep.
All right, well, let's get this up. And folks, if you want this spreadsheet, it is actually step 1 of my course called Get Your Money Right, the Game of Money. So let me share this as, host is disabled screen sharing. Dion, could you give me screen sharing? We need that for a minute.
You are now the host.
Awesome. Oh, there we go. All right, here we go. That's what happens when we do it live. So are you seeing my spreadsheet?
I am.
Excellent. So we're going to do housing first. These numbers were from a past guest. So as I set this up, folks, if you're going to go through, first off, the spreadsheet is simple. If you want to copy it, go ahead. But if you're doing this on your own or you're part of the course, I want you to have fun with this. This should not be a 10 or 20-minute exercise. In reality, this could be a couple of hours, because not only do I want you to put in the numbers, but I want you to use these rows below it. I want you to say, today I spend this, it's a mortgage, it's taxes, insurance. And then over here, you would say, hey, if I went smaller or sold my place or did this. And, over here, if I wanted to buy a couple of houses, the last person wanted something in Santa Cruz and Tahoe. So have fun with it. But here, Dion, what we're going to do is just talk numbers. So the first number we need from you, Dion, is what do you spend today on housing, mortgage, insurance, taxes, all that stuff? Rough number.
This is so unfair. Negative 3,700.
Negative 37.
I live in one of the units of my fourplex, and I am profiting in pure cash flow $3,700 in order to live in the property.
There you go. Well, this is going to really blow up the spreadsheet. I like it. So if you had to go even smaller, could you go to a different unit somewhere and even make it more negative? Or is that?
I could rent out a room in my unit and add another $600 to my cash flow. So right, yes, I could go to, what would that be?
Negative 4,300.
There you go.
All right. So what is the future hold? Does Dion ever want to live in his own place, or, what would the Mac, do you want 2 houses somewhere? Maybe, what does the dream look like?
Up until a few days ago, I would have said I plan on house hacking forever. And I was actually looking at buying a property in Arizona to get paid to snowbird and house hack in both locations. But a 37-acre ranch crossed my radar for 1.5 million. Ooh. That has 3 houses on it. And I'm actually considering it. I don't think I'll do it, but I'm mentally playing with the game of what would it look like to live in one of those houses, rent out the other 2. And my monthly expenses would be about $2,000 a month.
Okay, there we go. Just for fun. This is what it is. And again, below you would type in here, what'd you say, 45-acre farm? What was it?
37-acre ranch.
Yep. Ranch, 30, I don't know, acre ranch. I mean, this is what people should be doing with this, right? Type it in, all that stuff, 3 houses, all that stuff. Okay. All right. So we'll do the next tabs faster. Transportation, cars. What do you got today? Any car payments, gas, insurance, all that stuff.
So 2018 F-250 pickup that actually has the name on the back, the compensator, diesel.
Nice.
Paid for in cash was $40,000.
Right. What do you spend monthly? Like you got to fill up the tank. You got to put it, you have insurance. Do you pay for your kids' cars? What
About I was paying for kids' cars, but now they're actually on their feet, which is awesome and a new experience. About $500 a month for vehicle and insurance and fuel and all that.
Yep. There you go. Now, if you had to cut it out or get a different vehicle, or I don't know, could you go lower than 500?
Yes, I could go down to, I did it for many years up until recently because the bigger car, the nicer car is new, and it's actually related to the trucking school that I work at. But I usually had paid off cars that were 10 to 15 years old that I bought for a couple $1,000s, and the insurance was less than $100 a month.
Okay. We'll put 100.
So I could get right. There you go.
Okay. And then if you wanted to go flex, you wanted to add a car, do you have a toy or dream, or, do you ever want something extra special?
I would put $1,000 a month. I'm going to try to get the Tesla pickup when it comes out, and I'm going to buy an asset that's going to pay for it.
Nice. The what do they call that thing?
I've no idea.
Yeah,
Tesla
the
pickup
Tesla
is what
pickup.
I've been calling it.
All right. How about food? Like eating out, groceries, delivery if you do it?
I spend right now about $1,000 a month eating out because I do not shop in stores. I haven't been inside a retail establishment other than Lowe's and Home Depot for like 10
Lowe's
years.
and Home Depot.
They don't count.
Yeah, exactly. Not food. Yeah.
But I $1,000 a month eating out, it'd be easy. And if there's no food in my house. So
Okay, so $1,000. All right. If you had to cut it out, if you had to make food at home, do something else, could you cut that down, you
I
think?
could easily live on 200.
Okay. Wow. All right. Okay. And then if you wanted to go even bigger, nicer food, better quality stuff, I don't know.
I would probably just double it to 2,000.
Okay. That makes sense. All right. Now we're going to see entertainment, streaming servers, concerts, movies, tickets to sporting games. What do you do for fun kind of stuff?
Every streaming service there is, probably $300 a month if I added them up.
Yeah.
I don't have cable because I have all of those.
Gotcha. Do you go to movies, concerts?
I go to movies. I'm a theater guy. If you notice, most of my videos on my channel reference something pop culture.
Yeah.
So I probably spend $100 a month on the movies because it's the food there that gets me.
All right. So we'll call it 400 streaming plus movies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And if you had to cut it out, get it down to $100?
$30 a month.
All right. Well, I round up $100.
Fair enough.
And then if you wanted to go even bigger, is there a team you'd want season tickets to, or other things that, fancier trips or vacation, or not vacations?
Fancier trips. Yeah. Vacation. Yeah. Fancier trip. Well, that's coming up later.
Yeah. That's coming up next, but fancier events, I meant.
So here's something everyone else does that I just don't see me ever doing, but I guess I would add $200 for cable.
Oh my goodness.
I don't understand people who pay for commercials.
Like, oh my God, if I just had to. I mean, that's funny. All right. Vacations. What do you do today? And if you want to do yearly, we can always divide
1
by
month.
12. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll have to divide it by, and it's weird because I do 1 month a year in either Colombia or Thailand before COVID. So last year I skipped it.
Okay.
And the weird thing is doing everything I can on that trip: scuba diving, zip lining, swim with elephants, play with tigers.
Wow.
It's cheaper than what it cost me to eat in the United States. So even including airfare, the trip to Thailand for a whole month cost me $1,300. And I'm going to eat $1,000, and that's including food and everything.
Jesus.
So, yeah.
All right. So we'll call it. So if we said it was 1,500, so wow. If we said, okay, so we'll put in, I'll put in $200. Oh, whatever. Okay. So then, could you go any lower? I mean, that's pretty, you only go, that's crazy. Okay.
I could go to zero because I went 40 something years without ever taking any vacations.
Yeah, it's true. And then if you wanted to step it up, would you do it twice a month or twice a year? Sorry.
I would triple it. At least.
Oh my
because
goodness.
I'd like to spend 3 months in Thailand or Colombia. So someday soon, hopefully, we're going to be doing this with me sitting on a beach in Katao Island just before I go on a dive.
I like it. Ah, you live hard. You live good. I like it. All right, so 600. All right, kids. You have a couple. What do you think you spend on them now? They're young adults at this point, but I'm sure you spend a little something on them.
I would budget $1,000 a month for the random
Yeah.
I messed up phone
Dad,
call.
I need. Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Could you get that any lower, you think, or it's going to be $1,000 just because you're dad?
No, that's
Yep, that's okay.
right.
And then if you wanted to give them the extras or do something nice for them, could you, or is it just going to be the $1,000?
I would do 5,000 a month because
Okay.
I'd like to make
Good.
their lives easier if I could. And I'm getting to the point where that might happen soon. If they're watching, that was a lie. I made it up. Don't
You're not watching.
right.
All right. Hobbies, diving, like we talked about diving, other things. Are there things that just, buying books, all this stuff that,
Yeah, the scuba diving here in the United States probably costs about $500 a month.
Okay. So 500?
Yep.
Okay. Could you cut it out or reduce it or go half as much or?
I could go half as much. Yeah.
All right. So we'll call it 300. I think this is going to be interesting. And then if you wanted to go big, add stuff, buy new stuff, boats or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I would want to buy the boat. It'd be 2,000 a month.
Okay. There we go. This is good. And we're almost done. Okay. Insurance, health insurance, umbrellas, life insurance, just any of that stuff.
So I have the umbrella, but that's $550 a year. So that's like nothing per month,
okay.
like $50 a month or something.
Yeah.
I have health insurance through my W-2 job.
Cool.
I am also a disabled veteran, so I get free healthcare through the VA.
All right. All right. We'll put $100.
But
okay, go ahead.
there you go.
Yeah, we'll just call it 100, and we'll
Right.
say it's 100. And at some point, you're going to increase the umbrella from probably $1 million to something else.
Yeah, so we could probably, on all insurances, I would want to spend at least 200.
Yeah, that's not going to be much. Don't strike me as a clothes guy, but maybe clothes, dry cleaning, just anything.
No, I steal from Einstein, where I have 12 of these exact same shirts and
There you
12 of
go.
these exact same pants, except these ones are covered in paint because I was painting this morning. At
All
least
right.
I'm wearing pants.
There you go. Yeah, thank you for that. All right, so we'll put 100 here. We'll put 0 here, and we'll put 200 there. That's okay. And then other charity, pets, supporting parents, other folks, just that anything that may not have been covered that you could think of as a number that you may spend.
I'm spending about $500 a month right now on giveaways.
Okay.
So
there we go. And that could go to 0, or would you keep doing it or cut it in
could go to
half?
0.
Okay.
Yep.
And then just,
Yeah, it could go to 0.
yeah. And then what do you think happens?
I would love to give away $5,000 a month if I could. One of the best things about reaching financial freedom is understanding that the more people you help, the better your life is. So the more money I make and can give away, the more people I'm helping.
Amen. So folks, we're about to go back and realize what financial freedom looks like. This is the first expert I've done where it is going to be very clear why Dion is financially free. I can already do the math in my head, and I know exactly what these first numbers are going to look like. Da, 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 da. Look at that. So again, where is he at today? He is spending about $600 a month, and easily covered by his other rentals, because again, his housing cost started this off with negative 3,700. If he had to cut everything out, he could actually go negative just with the house hack, regardless of his other properties. And if Dion wanted to dream big, his dream big is $18,000. What does this look like, Dion? Does this make sense?
Is that 18,000 a month if I dream
Yes.
big?
Yeah, that's 18,000 a month.
Okay. So I need to triple my portfolio. Well, almost.
Essentially.
Less than that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's you dreaming big. That's giving away $5,000. That's, taking care of your kids an extra $4,000. That's doubling things that we were just, like clothes and insurance were just like kind of softballs. Double or tripling your vacation. That was a big deal. Yeah, I'm gonna actually go back to your vacations. That's you would spend $1,000. Come on, get serious. Not $600.
Yeah, no, I would. I guess Some people take vacations in Europe where it costs you money to take a vacation. I take vacations where I come back with more money than I left with.
There you go. Yeah. So now you got around 19 grand.
Okay.
That's you dreaming big. But again, these are options. This is what people need to do. They need to sit down and understand where they are today, figure out for us, right? When Olivia and I, all those years ago, now 2 decades ago, for us, our housing stayed the same, but we cut down transportation, we cut down food, we cut down entertainment. We didn't take a vacation for a decade. We reduced kids, cut out our hobbies. Insurance actually probably went up. We cut out clothes. I mean, that's just how we did it. I mean, and we were throwing thousands of dollars to the bottom line every month. But we had to start with where we are. We had to make choices. And now, we're living pretty good. So yeah, choices are important. So Dan, was that fun to go through?
It was. And something that I probably should have a sheet like that to do with is just to point out what my life is like because of house hacking compared to somebody who's just paying $1,500 a month for a mortgage, because that $3,700 in my pocket plus the 15 is the difference between our incomes before we look at any other sources of income.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I'll send it to you. You can play with it and make a video out of it. So I appreciate you, man. Thank you for doing this.
No, thanks for having me.